All right, I'm just going to give it a little bit more. I realize I clearly need to schedule an hour instead of 30 minutes, but I figured this would be a good way to start. The hardest part for me is going to be able to stay on track. So, as the title of this says, what is quantum physics and effectively why should we care? So, that's what I want to stick to this morning briefly. I will be doing a lot more talks like this. And as I go through what's on my list here, I'll be mentioning things that I already have done. Everything that I have on Insight Timer thus far, in one way, shape, or form, relates to a program I was teaching called Conscious Quantum Living. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to stay alive in which way, shape, or form. I've come a long way since doing that already. But there's a lot of stuff out there that relates to what I'm going to be talking about today. It's all about bioenergetics. It's about how we tune in to our highest frequency. And frequency is its resonance with the universe, with source, with love. It's whatever you identify with God. We can call it anything. And these are techniques and tips on how to do that, how to optimize that. So I'm only going to pay attention to the chat when I ask for Q&A. Otherwise, I will distract myself. 19 Ways to Sunday. And we're 3 minutes in. I'm an engineer. I like to be efficient. So let's go ahead and get started. So quantum physics. First of all, let's start with the basics. What exactly is quantum physics? While you're probably familiar with classical or Newtonian physics, that was the predecessor to quantum physics. And you can think of that as the micro. Oh, for bleep's sake, no. In what world did I just say that classic physics is micro and not catch that? Seriously. Classic physics, Newtonian physics, is the macro, whereas quantum physics is the micro. Moving on. It's based on Newton's laws of motion. So, in other words, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It's the big stuff. It's the big stuff, even as in cells in our body, planets in the solar system, galaxies in the universe. It's the big stuff. Quantum physics came along, and quantum physics is the really, really small stuff. It is the atomic and subatomic particle size stuff. And this is where the magic starts to happen. It's who is it? It was Richard Feynman who said, or at least he was attributed to saying, if you think you understand quantum mechanics, you don't understand quantum mechanics. Now, quantum mechanics, sorry, I should have said that. Quantum mechanics it's a subset of quantum physics. It's the nuts and bolts. It's the little pieces of quantum physics, but I tend to use them interchangeably, especially for everyday conversations like this. Quantum mechanics, the quantum level is crazy, crazy, crazy small. And it's the small that is so hard for us to wrap our head around, in the same way that our size within the universe is really hard for us to wrap our heads around. When you look at our planet, our solar system, our galaxy, and then you look at all the other galaxies, the human brain is not wired to really be able to understand that. And when we go within, we have the same phenomena, or we're not wired in order to understand that type of level. But I did do a, what was it called? I did do if I can find it. Sorry, I took a few notes, but they're not very, I think it's called scaling. I'm not finding it right now, but I think it's called quantum scaling, if I remember. And that's a great little meditation to give you perspective. And it also brings everything into perspective. Because what I do in that meditation is walk you out amongst the stars and the galaxies so you can get a perspective of your size out there. And then I bring you back and I walk you within and take you down into that Planck level scale so you can get a perspective of the size of what's actually within you. And this goes to some of my favorite principles: as within, so without. The universe is fractal. And this is why it's so important to get our energy, our biofield, where we need it, where it should be, where it's optimized. Because by optimizing our energetics, we then which words do you want to use? We attract, we manifest, we create that on the outside of us. That is the principle of correspondence in Hermeticism. I'm working on a course right now. It's a 7-day course. I should have it out in this next week. And walking through all the 7 principles of Hermetics, which is an ancient science, used to be in mystery school teachings. It's available to us now. I've taken it and I've sort of translated it into modern day speak, and also me being me, I'm telling you how quantum physics relates to that. So the best thing that we can do right now, and this is why I teach, the first thing I teach is the monkey mind. It's taming and reprogramming the monkey mind. I have a 3-day course right now out already that you can take, and it's how we reprogram it. Because, guys, thoughts are energy. And current estimates are that we are not aware of 95% of the thoughts that we have every day. And when you start doing this work, you're going to be shocked at how accurate that might be. On the offset, it sounds like that can't be right. That's crazy. But when you start paying attention and aligning yourself to what's really going on, you're going to see that's true, because a lot of what we're doing, we're on autopilot. Get up in the morning and we do our morning routine. We have coffee or tea. We go through our routine, brush our teeth, get ready for work, whatever. Get in our car and drive. Boom, we're on autopilot there. Goodness knows where our minds are. Sometimes we're just, usually during the drive, if you're not conscious, the monkey mind's just doing what it does. It's thinking random thoughts. The point here is that thoughts are energy. And until you get that monkey mind under control and retrained, until you learn how to flip the script on what's going on in your head, you're wasting energy. Because most people spend the vast majority of their time either lamenting the past, angry about the past, regretful about the past, sorrowful and pain over the past, or they're worrying about the future, stressed over what's going to happen. Are they going to lose their job? Is their car going to keep working, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of that is wasted energy. The best thing that we can do is really focus on being present now. And when we do that with intention, this is where we can make magic happen. So skipped around a little bit. There's 2 principles, 2 concepts within quantum physics that I want to introduce to you, because they're very relevant in how we can use this information to optimize our lives. The first one, and they are related, but the first one is entanglement. This is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. This is what sent the world of physics, quantum physics, on its ear many, many years ago, because what they were coming up with, the math and what they were seeing, did not make sense. So spooky action at a distance is quantum entanglement. We have proven this today in our modern age at the CERN Hadron Collider. And what that place does is take an atom and it splits it into 2. And then it shoots those particles 17 miles. They may have increased it by now. 17 miles in opposite directions. And then they do something to the atom on one of the ends. And what they discovered is when those atoms are entangled, which they are when they started out as one, the other atom simultaneously assumes the different position. And it's either going to be a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-0. So it's either going to flip, if you flip this one way, this one will either flip the opposite way, or it'll just mirror this one. And that's entanglement. The problem with that is there is no time difference. No time difference. And we can use this in real life. So if there's didn't check about that either, I'll get around to. If there's a particle in me, one moment, in the next instant with 0 time, that particle could now be in Carey Hart. And then the next instant, that same particle could be in another galaxy. 0 time between those transitions. This is why everyone gets wigged out about the quantum world, because it doesn't make sense. But oh my God, once you start understanding it, it is so powerful. Hi, Peck, I just saw you fly by. Hey, I'm so glad you could make it. So when you start understanding how to use these principles, it's incredibly powerful. The other one is non-linearity. And quantum entanglement basically said that, but I'll explain it in a different way. So we live in a linear universe. If I want to go from point A to point B, I have to travel the whole distance between. In a non-linearity situation, a non-linear, which the quantum world is, particles can be at point A and then point B without traveling the distance. So we tend to think of entanglement as it must be really fast. No, it's not really fast. It's not actually going. It's just being here and then being here. Fascinating stuff. Again, this is why we don't understand it. So the particles whipping in and out, the quanta, we're going to use that term because it's fine. It's a very tiny quantity of particle. We learned not too long ago, relatively, that there is no such thing as a vacuum. We used to think we could create vacuums and vacuums in space. And what we discovered is that particles are blipping out in and out all the time. And as a side note, I won't go too deep into, this is where a lot of people are working on free energy. Because every time that particle, that quanta, blips into some part of some universe or some body, it's created energy. And since it comes into empty space, as we think of it, we could harness that. And there are some brilliant minds out there working on doing things like that, but I won't get lost in that. So entanglement, non-linearity. All right, so we're coming back around to the bioenergetics. And as an electrical engineer, one of my first things that I found was a product called the BioWell. So I can measure people's biofields. And I use these terms because I'm actually not allowed to say things like aura, because that's too woo-woo. But it is our energy field. We extend energy. So we are literally these bodies that we have. We are receivers and transmitters. We both receive and transmit energy. And again, you can liken this into your real world experience. How many times have you met someone that just gave you the EVGs? Didn't know why, didn't know what's going on in their world, but they just, whoa, whatever it was. And conversely, how many times have you met someone who's like, oh, this person, I love this person. Like Siri, I see Siri's here. And we've been working together, and it's fabulous. It's like, I told you, we just met, but I've known you for a long time. And that's resonance. And this is that focus that we do to bring ourselves into alignment more and more and more and more. And it's not easy because we're constantly bombarded, again, the monkey mind, getting our thoughts into alignment with how we want to be and resonate. The other aspect is emotions. Remember, both thoughts and emotions are energy. And if we're wallowing in something that we're struggling with, that's taking our entire biofield and it's disrupting it. It's causing it to go out of resonance. And I think ultimately this is where dis-ease and disease comes from, when we're not in resonance with our bodies. And Insight Timer has so many incredible practitioners doing all kinds of different modalities. The somatic work is really important. And that's the last piece I'll touch on before I open up the questions here is, and I came late to this, is the body work and how that works and how we tie it together. So I found and started playing with the energy centers in 2019, thanks to the amazing Joe Dispenza. And I resonated with him deeply, and I connected with him instantly in one of his hour-long meditations. And then I kind of just put it on the back burner as my obsession with quantum physics and bioenergetics and everything sort of took me over. But as is the way, if we're meant to come back to something, we're always going to come back to it. So I came back to the energy centers last year sometime in a big way, and they started playing with me and communicating with me. And I started realizing that if something's hurting in my body, it's my energy body's way of talking to me. And I have done some incredible things, from helping my knee pain and my hip pain that has decreased like 90% just because I started listening and learned how to communicate. And these processes, I am convinced, in the same way that we are energy beings, which ultimately makes us quantum energy beings, I think that consciousness itself is a quantum process. And this is, consciousness, we still do not have it defined. Scientists do not know how to define it. We do not know what it is. We do not know where it comes from. Of course, I happen to think it is consciousness. I think it's the ultimate consciousness. Again, you can call that God, Source, Bob, whatever you want. The ultimate consciousness is that which has created everything. And we are just bits of that consciousness. We are bits of that divine. We are bits of that light. And the more that we, again, recognize all of this and tie all of this together, the more we can optimize it. And it's awkward at first. It's like when you first learn to ride a bike or drive a car. It's a little overwhelming. You know, oh my God, I have to look over here and I have to look over there. And then there's the brakes. And if you're old enough, it's the clutch. And then you have to do the gear shift. It's a lot and it's overwhelming. But after you've done it for a while, you don't even think about it now. You get in your car and you just go. So this is that. And all the components that I have out here are in a program I call Conscious Quantum Living. They're all bits and pieces of this bigger field of what I do in coaching people and helping people in their journeys and paths. So, okay, that wasn't bad. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I actually consciously tried to slow down a few times. I am open to anybody's questions. And any comments. This is my first live, if you didn't know. So if I was talking fast, tell me. If there's anything else I should know, please tell me. And I'm going to sip some tea. Greg, yeah, not the clutch. I hear you. Oh, thank you, Gina. Good. I hope so. The explanation is wonderful. Siri, thank you. One of my superpowers is helping to simplify things that are really complicated. And I hope that landed today. I hope I did that for you today. IPEC, thank you. I was nervous, Helen. I was nervous, but now the first one is done and I got the tech worked out. Yay, knock on wood. Oh, Siri, I'm just glad you came. Thank you so much. Oh, and Siri and I are going to start. If I miss any questions, please, Carrie, if you could flag it for me or somebody could flag it, it'd be good. Siri and I are going to start working together. We're going to be doing every other Tuesdays at 9 for a while, indefinitely, until we see how it goes. I will be talking like this and riffing on some topic, quantum topic, and Siri will be painting to it as she does so brilliantly. So I hope you'll join us for that. I'll get that scheduled up on Insight Timer Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I may not be able to do it this Tuesday. No, I should. 48 hours. I should. Okay. So yeah, look forward for that with me and Siri. Oh, Carrie. Yes, Carrie was one of the original people that went through my Conscious Quantum Living program. And she is a different person now. She's a different, just like me, I'm a different person than I was in 2016. No doubt about it. Is it Rossi or Rosie? Ah or O? Yes, 9 a.m. EST, Melinda. Oh, Rosie. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Well, you're welcome to reach out. Anyone is welcome to reach out. And you can find more information on my website, which you can find in my teacher profile. And I'm not allowed to say other off-platform places. So yeah, you can find stuff about me in my teacher profile. Trying to be good for Insight Timer and follow the rules. I think they come up as subscriptions if you attend, if you say you're going to attend. Talk a little about healing conditions using quantum, I missed something. Please talk about healing conditions using quantum meditations. Yes, it's a big topic, but here's it in a nutshell. It has to do with resonance, as I said. And I believe that any kind of condition that we have in our body is that we're not in resonance in some area in our body. So my knees and my hips that responded so brilliantly, there are messages in that. And depending on where you're at and how you process energy, you might be able to get a direct message as, look, this is all about being afraid. This is all about being afraid to move forward. Or this is about being afraid of letting go of something. So sometimes we can get specific messages and understand it. But we don't always have to. I'm convinced that there's an energetic component, an intentional component. I say this all the time, with attention and intention. That is enough to get what we need, because most of us aren't doctors. So if you're diagnosed with something like cancer or scary like that, or if you have a muscle, whatever ailments, we don't have to know the details of how, but what we do have to do is get ourselves into alignment. Now, and this goes into the heart space. For me, it's a heart-brain coherence that I use, in meditation all the time, but it's alignment. And recently, that alignment has included all of my chakras. And I think what that's doing, oh, this is interesting because this is just coming to me. I think what that's doing when we align our entire chakra body, and then we go into a meditation of an intention of some sort, be it manifestation or whatnot, well, we just like 10x our energy potential. I think that's an accurate statement. Oh, that's fascinating. That's cool. I never thought of that. Okay, so it's getting into alignment, connecting, opening your heart, connecting to love, connecting to source, God, whatever. And the beauty of this is when I first started this, I'd never been religious and I'd never been much of anything. So it was a tough journey for me in the first few years. Engineer trying to make peace with this woo-woo stuff. I didn't believe a lot of it. My heart did. My heart was guiding me, but my brain was not on board, especially the first year. So the point is, if you're in alignment, you can call upon your guides, which I thought were crazy in the beginning too. I have my own guides now. You can call upon your guides. You can call upon your God, your angels, your spirits. If you don't have that, if you're not there on your journey yet, that's okay too. Just think of love. Just get that connection and you will know when you're connected. It feels like love. It feels like peace. It is a calmness and a connectedness that just is like almost making me cry right now, that we have this ability within us. So when we're in that state, Barbara, that is when we can make these intentions with intention. And there's more to that too. You want to do intention statements that are really aligned and really empowered and don't have any negatives in them. There's no, I don't want this. It's all about the healing and whatnot. And again, yes, you can reach out to me and we can talk more about that. Love to discuss the intersection of the concepts of quantum and Reiki. It's all energy. It's all energy. So Reiki is addressing the quantum energy. It's energy. It's so think about it this way. Ultimately, everything is a quantum thing because everything is energy. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but we have now discovered, again, quite recently scientifically, that humans, we are 99.9999999 to go out for a while percent energy, and only a teeny tiny little percent of what we consider mass. And it'll probably blow your mind that we still don't actually know what mass is. It's never ended up being what we thought it was. So we're energy beings. And Reiki is just that. When the Reiki practitioner is really proficient, what they're doing is directing the energy. And the good ones, the healers, of course, they don't have to be Reiki, healers of any kind. That's what they can do. They can tap in and find where the disturbance is, where the lack of resonance is, right? And there's so many modalities. Again, there's tuning forks, there's singing bowls, there's Reiki, there's so many different modalities. And I'm so fascinated by this right now because I'm convinced that moving forward, this is going to be what healing is like. Honestly, I think we're going to have little tricorders like they did on Star Trek that'll adjust people's frequency depending on what's wrong with them. Science fiction frequently leads us into future fact. It's quite amazing. And of course, medicine these days, the Western medicine is starting to straddle that a little bit. Things like acupuncture are coming more into modern practice. But the Eastern medicine has been doing this all along. They get it. Western medicine historically treats the problem and the symptom, but they don't treat the cause. And the cause is almost always mental and emotional. So when we can start treating that, then everything else gets easier. These are just my opinions. I'm an electrical engineer. I am not a doctor. This is not meant as medical advice. All right, let's see. Let's see. That's why I always say to manifest anything, focus on your energy. Yes, yes, yes. Find ways to raise your energy. Yes, I do have a energy elevation meditation that you can do, and I suggest you do that. I'm a little over. No, I'm not over time yet. Excellent. We're going to go a little over time for anybody who wants to stay. So this energy elevation meditation that I have on there, I was doing. I've talked about this elsewhere. I was doing the energy center flow, the pre-waking span, that space between awake and asleep, which early on I was told never meditate in because it didn't count. And I call hogwash in that. There's magic that can be had in that space when, because you're still half into the theta state anyway, you're already there. And when you can keep awake enough to do something intentionally. So what happened was I was doing the flow with my energy center. And then I switched over to, okay, now elevate, 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 elevate. And I wasn't peaking and I wasn't peaking. And then I popped out of my body. I became my light body. It was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. And I was looking down at my bed, at my body in bed, and I could feel just that I was light and there was nothing else. And my body itself, interestingly, was kind of translucent. It was a translucent color. It didn't look like my body looks like now. And I think it's because I was at such a high elevation. I was seeing the highest frequency and I wasn't seeing all the density. I don't know. That's just a theory that I have. But anyways, guys, play with these things and realize there are no limits. There are no limits. There's nothing we can't do. I'm convinced of that. And half of anything that we're struggling with right now is that we just don't believe it yet. So that's what me and all these other beautiful teachers are here for, to help everyone realize their potential. We are so much stronger and so much more powerful than we've ever been told. Our conditioning, sadly, from a young age is to toe the lines, stay in the lines, do what you're supposed to do, follow the rules. And I'm not saying become a complete anarchist, but I am saying that take a look at the boxes you're in. Take a look at the boundaries you have set for yourself or others have set for you. I think it's time to make everything questionable. Question everything and find out how you can grow and expand in ways you might not have even considered possible yet. Because that is part of the magic. When we start doing this work, we find ourselves doing things and things happening. It's like, whoa, never in a million years would I have guessed that could happen. I had that happen a few weeks ago. I'm working with a group of people that I'm still kind of in awe that, wow, this is great. Another group that are helping people and finding ways to help people expand their consciousness, which is what I do. Oh, let's see, Greg. And the mind gets stuck focusing on the physical. Yes. Symptoms and situation conditions. Yes. And defines those as real, but forgets the energy and alignment. Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, oh, gosh, I could just, yeah, okay. Next time it'll be an hour. That's absolutely true, Greg. And the thing to remember there is and again, we've been conditioned to believe that the physical is primary, that this density is primary. Well, I want to posit to you, and I want you to think about the possibility that it's consciousness that is primary, which means it's coherent energy that is primary, that has created everything, that creates everything. And the more that we can align with that in our thoughts, in our words, oh, take that monkey mind course, all right? Words, thoughts and words are so important. And the words that you use every day, and any time that you say something that does not serve you is literally adding negative energy to you. If you gossip about somebody or you're saying bad things about somebody, talking down about somebody, that's not helping you. It's not helping you. And it's not helping you from a number of perspectives. One of them is the law of correspondence, as within, so without. So I have been seeing this in my life in phenomenal ways in the last 3 months. In the way that's always true. So something comes in, I learn about it, and I think it's great. And then it comes into me at a whole deeper level, just like the energy centers. It may be 6 months, maybe 2 years later. But then I get smacked with it at a whole nother level. So as within, as without, speaks to the fractal nature of the universe too. But what it means is what we are within is showing up in our lives outside. Every time. Every time. And as Esther Hicks says frequently, she's realized, she's recognized that I did that. Yeah, I did that. I did that. And take that a step further, what you're realizing, especially if it's an altercation with a person, you're realizing that, oh, that's me. That's me. That's just an external indicator of me, everything. And when you start doing this and get your energy in alignment and your heart is open and you really check the ego. Ego has its purpose, but it's not as the leader. As we really check the ego, your life is just going to light up. You're going to start attracting people that'll make your heart sing and that you get to co-create with. Oh, yes, this is what we all want for everybody because we can all do it now. Yes, and we reflect ourselves onto others. So it's very, but ultimately, whatever is not going right outside of you, you have to fix inside first. You get to fix inside first. Changing your reality. Yeah. Okay. And we'll touch on that really quick. So social media, any kind of energy that you're consuming will affect your biofield. And by that, I mean your food, your drink. Now, to a certain extent, you can have fun. You don't have to be, 100% organic and everything. Be reasonable. But especially when it comes to social media, news channels, things like that, take a check at how you're feeling looking at it or reading it or listening to it, because that'll tell you whether or not it's in resonance. And the more you can stop doing those things that make your heart constrict and make you feel smaller, and increase the things that you do that make your heart sing and expand, again, you're on the right track. And the universe will always give you feedback. Will always tell you breadcrumbs, feedback. Yes, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Yes, change your language and what you're looking for. It's so important. And think about that. This hit me so huge in 2016 that I went through my entire life not thinking in these terms, not thinking at all in these terms. I just did what everybody else does. I consumed what was around me and I didn't give any thought to what it was. Now, it's one of these things, once you see it, you can't stop seeing it, you can't unsee it. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It takes some adjustment, but it's a beautiful thing to see. All right, I'm looking to see if I missed any questions. The course that Carrie mentioned. No. So here's the deal with that. Conscious Quantum Living, I developed that in 2020. And I was moving it over to another platform and realized, honestly, the production quality is awful. And I've come a long way since 2020. So what I am going to be doing is putting it up on the Thinkific platform in its current form. It's not going to be pretty. I'll have most of the content there. And I will put the link. Hopefully I should be able to put the link in my teacher profile. I should have that up there within 2 weeks, if not sooner. I'm working on a lot of other stuff, but it will be there. And the reason is because I want to make it really affordable to people. The original course is 8 weeks. And the original course, you got an hour each week, a group Q&A with me. Brilliant platform. And I might redo it again someday, I don't know, but someday when I can do a better quality of the production. But it will be out there because it's not pretty, but the information is really, really good. It's solid. I mean, it got Carrie from being who she was to who she is. So, yeah. And parts are on IT. Right, Carrie, exactly. The monkey mind, the chakras, and the new stuff is on IT, the energy flow and whatnot. So, when I'm working with people, it's usually every 2 weeks that I have coaching sessions with them. And it takes practice, especially, retraining the monkey mind, understanding our energy, figuring out how to navigate our wobbles, I call them. Life wobbles, life happens, and it's not always fun. But everything, you guys hear this, just we'll end pretty soon here, but I'll leave you with this. Know this in your heart. Every single thing that happens to us in this lifetime is a gift because it is a lesson. It is personal growth, and it is a way for us to love ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper. It means forgiving everything. If you can't forgive somebody, you're torturing yourself, not them. So everything that happens is a gift and an opportunity to grow and to love ourselves deeper. I hope that lands. Everything is possible, love. Everything is possible. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm incredibly grateful that so many people showed up. I'm just kind of floored. And I will be doing these on a regular basis. I'm going to try and do, I'm going to be aggressive. I might pare it back after a while, but I'm going to do one a week. So one week it'll be Siri and I. The next week it'll just be me. Probably be at the same time on Tuesdays. But I'm open to feedback for when and whatnot. IPAC, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much it means that you're here. Greg, Melinda, all of you, everyone, serious gratitude. Serious gratitude. And I'm going to go now before I cry. If anybody wants to reach out to me, you know how to reach me, okay? I hope you guys have, it's Saturday. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful, magical weekend. And remember, you're creating all of it, and everything is for you. And if you need help, I'm here. And all these other beautiful, beautiful teachers are here on Insight Timer. And one of us is going to resonate with you, and we can help. Okay, guys, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great, magical Saturday.